was secure in my beauty, but had enough wisdom to know it was only fleeting. My parents adored me and made sure I was educated, highly educated. I lived a rarefied and precious existence in which I arranged flowers, looked pretty, and sang for my parents' entertainment. I was so privileged that even my maid had bound feet. As a small girl, I believed that all the gatherings we held and all the treats we ate during 7/7 were a celebration for me. No one corrected my mistake because I was loved and very, very spoiled. I took a breath and let it out slowly, happy. This would be my last birthday at home before I married out, and I was going to enjoy every minute. I left my room in the Unmarried Girls' Hall and headed in the direction of our ancestral hall to make offerings to my grandmother. I'd spent so much time getting ready that I made a quick obeisance. I didn't want to be late for breakfast. My feet couldn't take me as fast as I wanted to go, but when I saw my parents sitting together in a pavilion overlooking the garden, I slowed. "Unmarried girls should not be seen in public," I heard my mother say. "I'm even concerned for my sisters-in-law. You know I don't encourage private excursions. Now to bring outsiders in for this performance." She let her voice trail off. I should have hurried on, but the opera meant so much to me that I stayed, lingering out of sight behind the twisted trunks of a wisteria vine. "There is no public here," Baba said. "This will not be some open affair where women disgrace themselves by sitting among men. You will be hidden behind screens. But outside men will be within our walls. They may see our stockings and shoes beneath the screen. They may smell our hair and powder. And of all the operas, you have chosen one about a love affair that no unmarried girl should hear." My mother was old-fashioned in her beliefs and her behavior. In the social disorder that followed the cataclysm, when the Ming dynasty fell and the Manchu invaders took power, many elite women enjoyed leaving their villas to travel the waterways in pleasure boats, write about what they saw, and publish their observations. Mama was completely against things like that. She was a loyalist, still dedicated to the overthrown Ming emperor, but she was excessively traditional in other ways. When many women in the Yangtze Delta were reinterpreting the four virtues, virtue, demeanor, speech, and work, my mother constantly chided me to remember their original meaning and intent. "Hold your tongue at all times," she liked to say. "But if you must speak, wait until there is a good moment. Do not offend anyone." My mother could get very emotional about these things because she was governed by Qing. Sentiment, passion, and love. These forces tie together the universe and stem from the heart, the seat of consciousness. My father, on the other hand, was ruled by Li, cold reason and mastered emotions, and he snorted indifferently at her concern that strangers were coming. "You don't complain when the members of my poetry club visit." "But my daughter and my nieces aren't in the garden when they're here. There's no opportunity for impropriety. And what about the other families you've invited?" "You know why I invited them," he spat out sharply, his patience gone. "Commissioner Tan is important to me right now. Do not argue further with me on this." I couldn't see their faces, but I imagined Mama paling under his sudden severity. She didn't speak. Mama managed the inner realm. And she always kept fish-shaped locks of beaten metal hidden in the folds of her skirts in case she needed to secure a door to punish a concubine, preserve bolts of silk that had arrived from one of our factories for home use, or protect the pantry, the curtain-weaving quarters, or the rooms set aside for our servants to pawn their belongings when they needed extra money. That she never used a lock unjustly had earned her added respect and gratitude for those who resided in the women's chambers. But when she was upset, as she was at this moment, she fingered the locks nervously. I took that moment to scurry past the pavilion. I hadn't understood all that had been said, but I really didn't care. What mattered was that the opera would still be performed.